Hi, I'm an airplane.
And I'm a rural juror.
And this is the Halloween edition of the Iron Bowl Hour.
Or as we like to call it, the show that wisely shielded its eyes when ESPN tried to show us an image of Derek Dooley's stool on Saturday.
On tonight's show.
On a scale from 9 to 10, how good of a coach is Nick Saban?
I have to go higher than 10.
Okay. 11, one higher maybe?
One
14?
One kill you.
Okay, that's good, that's good.
All right, and then now get your bottom out of the steamer.
All right. I like how you said that, Lauren, get my bottom out of the steamer.
All right, Reed, it's that time again. It's time for Agree to Disagree, and this is where I say a bunch of stupid crap and you tell me where I'm wrong, which I always am.
And this is where I'm just way too smart and too old to be on this show.
You were right with half of that, Reed.
There's growing sentiment among Auburn fans that Chiswick has reached the end of the line, and some are even calling for Petrino to be his replacement. Should Auburn finally pull the trigger they considered in 2003 and make Bobby Petrino their new coach? Seriously? Are we really even going to argue this? Listen, Will, this will be easy.
Oh, wait,
let
me predict what you're going to say, Reed. You're going to be old and lame and stupid, like usual. Go ahead, say whatever you want to say.
Really smart.
Well,
yeah,
I'll have to give you that, but that's
smarter
fine.
than everyone on the planet.
Yeah, that's true, but still, whatever. Go ahead and say your stupid, lame stuff.
Well, here we go, Will. Listen up here.
Sure.
As your older brother, you should learn from what I'm about to tell you.
All right.
Auburn goes around talking about all in as a family, right? And when they win, it's a God thing. And now they're going to talk about going out and hiring Petrino, the guy that just on his Harley Davidson had a wreck with his girlfriend and ruined his whole family.
Well, listen, I'm cool and I know what's cool, and what's cool to young people is winning football games, and that's what Bobby Petrino does, and he gets it on with the ladies, and that's cool too. And so Auburn needs to hire the cool dude, and that's Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, Reed, as the older person here with the mature look on things, and with a much higher IQ than anyone wearing a hoodie on a TV show.
Are you forgetting, Will, that Bobby Petrino's been in the NFL, and that's cool, and he's lived in Atlanta, and that's a cool town, and he coached the Falcons, that's a cool bird, and having a cool coach is what Auburn needs.
Well, eventually you're going to have to grow up and mature.
I'll show you, Reed. I will not either grow up and mature.
Well, you've got 2 children. It's time to grow up and mature.
That's a good point.
You're going to learn what's important, and what's important is being all in as a family.
Well, tell that to Auburn when they fire their coach, who's a good guy, and they hire the cool dude, Bobby Petrino, because they want to win football games. That is what's going to happen.
Older brother wins again.
Northwestern coach Pat Fitzgerald reportedly built a mandatory catnap into his team's Saturday pregame schedule last weekend. Should Nick Saban consider a similar policy on Saturdays when his team has to wait all day to play a late game? Naps, right? That's ridiculous. Nerd alert, right? This is Northwestern taking naps. That's not a team that wins football. Sorry, that's not a team that wins football games, right? And Nick Saban already does win all his football games without taking any naps at all, right? So I think that this is something that Nick Saban would never want to do.
Listen, Will, of all people, you having children should understand that naps are very important, especially once you get older. Naps are something you look forward to every day.
I'll give it to you. I do have 2 children that I know of, right? And I do think it's important for them to take naps, but they're not professional. That's a Freudian slip, right? And they're not college football players, and this is something that is not what college football players should be doing. So
a nap every day is good for the soul. It's good for the brain, especially. Read a good book, take a nap. Your performance will be better later in the day, and this includes football players.
Let's look at other teams that are also taking this nap policy. Northwestern, we said they took a nap, they lost, right?
Smart people.
Look, the Auburn football team takes a nap during the game. That's not working out very well either, right? So I think generally speaking, naps are for children, right? For small children like my kids and like myself, and it's not for college football players. So I think that this is a bad policy for Alabama.
College football players are children. That's the thing. These are young men in their prime. They're just now, their bodies are still developing. They need that extra sleep to build their muscles up.
Listen, you haven't seen Alabama's football team play. Nothing about them is childlike. What maybe that kicker, he's a little childlike.
And listen, Will, Nick Saban spanking the players, that's childlike.
Well, that's true. A.J. McCarron was a little childlike when he was being spanked, but here's the thing. Now that he's grown up and the whole team has grown up and all they do is win, win, win no matter what, and they don't need to be taking naps. You don't mess with with success, Will. And nobody's more successful, maybe Lance Armstrong, but apart from Lance Armstrong, nobody's more successful than the University of Alabama's football program, so they need to just leave it the way it is.
Listen, Will, here's a prime example. I didn't get a full nap today after my book, and I'm dozing off here, right on the set. Could be from your boring argument.
That doesn't make any sense at all. But I'll tell you what, I'll save you the embarrassment of going on further with being an old man who doesn't know anything. And let's go ahead and get out of this segment. Coming up next, viewers, I, Will Lockamy, totally awesome dude, will take you down to Auburn to Momma G's and show you how they make sandwiches while my brother Reed, who is very handsome and very smart, takes a nap.
I can't wait to see how you did, Will, down there at Mama Goldberg's. Reed, recently I flew down to Auburn to check out how they make all that fantastic food at Momma G's.
I can't wait to see all about your trip, matey.
Mama.
No.
Ma?
No.
Mama.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, in my search for Mama, I didn't really expect to land on you. Now, Don, you're the man that started this whole thing, right?
I'm the mama daddy.
The Mama Daddy. In the late 1960s, Don DeMent turned a struggling clothing store into an iconic deli with the unexpected help of two students who accidentally started the Momma G's nacho craze.
I started out with the little squirt kind that goes on the taco chips, you know.
Sure, yeah.
And they were reasonably accepted, but no more than anywhere else.
Right.
And I had a little boy that was an engineer. No, he was a business major, and his friend was an engineering student. And they were roommates, and they both worked here. And somehow one of them started doing it, and then the other, and they would just eat themselves, you know. And then they asked me, was it all right to sell their friends? And it got so popular that I said, hey, I got to put this on the menu.
Now you're a student here at Auburn, and in the meantime you're learning how to make nachos and everything else. Well, I want to learn as well because Mama Goldberg's famous for the nachos.
Great.
And let's see what you got, starting with the Doritos.
Yes.
The nacho
Here's
cheese.
a bag for
All right.
you, bag for me. What you do is you get a piece of foil. That's
Gotcha.
what it's going to go on. Open up the chips. Do you like peppers or no peppers?
I like peppers.
Okay, so we'll do jalapeno peppers.
Okay.
Sprinkle it on, just a little bit.
Now several kinds of cheese, but you just stick with this cheese.
Yeah, this is pepper jack. This is the traditional.
Okay.
There's about 5 slices.
Thank
This
you.
is what we do.
Okay. Now if I wanted cheddar, could I do some cheddar?
You could if you wanted to, yes.
But Mama does not recommend that.
No.
All right, so
And
just
stick
set
it
right
on
in there.
Yes.
Is it possible that that's it?
That is it.
So no real secret, I guess. It's just a couple of things.
It's just like a magic connection of melted cheese and chips that is addicting.
The reputation's spread, and now we're famous for our nachos. It's, you know, you can go anywhere and mention Mama Goldberg's. Mama's love, nachos.
There you go, the Dorito nachos.
Right, right.
Now, Lauren, I've heard that the Mama's Love is the most popular sandwich here. So here we go. Teach me how to make it. I want to know what makes it so popular.
Okay, well, great. We'll start with the roast beef. Perfect.
Once it's settled, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, that goes on, and then we're gonna do the same process for the ham and the turkey.
Gotcha. See, we're going for perfection here. All right, so spread it out. Okay, and then this guy here, the turkey.
And last, we gotta get the Munster cheese. It's
The
one.
what cheese?
Munster.
The Munster cheese.
Yeah. Lay them out on top of everything, and now we put it in the steamer.
Gotcha,
So-
just like this.
Yeah, just lace it on in, and then you see the button that is all the way to the right with a little cloud coming out of it. All right, and in 2 minutes, you'll have your Mama's Love.
How do you know if you're gonna need some extra steam?
Sometimes people actually request it.
They can request how much
They come in
steam
and
they
ask for
want?
extra steam. Yeah, I've had people do that before.
You know you're eating too much Mama Goldberg's
If
when you know how much steam to request.
All right.
Now, steam isn't the safest thing in the world. Do you ever have any steam injuries?
When I first started working here, I had a few goof ups, but I've learned, yeah.
Nice.
All right, and then now get your bottom out of the steamer.
All right. I like how you said that, Lauren. Get my bottom out of the steamer.
Let's go ahead and get both of those bottles. The one on the right is a spicy mustard.
Watch
and
this. Look at that. Do y'all do that? No. Watch. Look at that. All right, now both of them?
Mustard first.
Okay.
There you go, yeah. Very natural, it's good.
You're kind to say I'm a natural when I'm clearly not.
Okay.
Is that it?
That looks pretty good.
This is the ugliest Mama's Love that's ever been made here at Mama Goldberg's.
No, all right.
Mama's Love. Mama's Love. how do you handle game days? It's got to be just out of this world.
Well, it is, because a lot of schools will publish in their paper or their student newspaper that Momma Goldberg's is the place to come when you come to the Auburn game.
Right.
And I remember one Saturday, I opened up the door at 7 o'clock and in rushed about 40 LSU people. Stayed there all day long.
Stinky.
When I left to go to the game, they were still laying on the table.
Oh, that's no surprise.
After the game, it gets crazy when we win. It's just the busiest part of the whole day. Now, if we lose, we don't do as much business. We do well, but we don't do as much business unless Georgia beats us or Alabama beats us. Then they come over here and dominate it.
Because they already know Momma Goldberg, so they love it.
We win, we go to Momma Goldberg to take over. And Auburn people come look at the door and leave. It's all Georgia, it's all Alabama, and they get out of here.
Now, when you go to your Momma Goldbergs in Tuscaloosa, can you say Roll Tide?
I don't.
I'm not going to make you say it. I might be blind as a bat, but my taste buds can tell you that those nachos are delicious.
Are they?
Yeah, yes, they are. Up next, more exciting costume changes.
And Paul Finebaum. I have a hook for a foot.
Welcome back to the Iron Bowl Hour. I'm Batman, and that's an Auburn fan. Last week, we were rudely interrupted when Paul Finebaum felt like he had to talk to Pat Dye. I think that conversation's over, so let's get back to the interview.
If you were in charge at Auburn, would you get rid of Chiswick at this point?
First person I would get rid of is that stupid Aubie, the mascot.
Oh, it's awful, awful. That tail is ridiculously long. Yeah.
But would I get rid of Chiswick? No. Okay.
How many games will Tommy Tuberville win at Auburn next year?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's good. That's not bad.
He's got 6 fingers.
Would you guys excuse me? I'm about to interview Pat Dye.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we can.
We'll wait for Pat. Tell him we said hey.
We are back with former Auburn coach Pat Dye. Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
Well, I've been better.
I bet you have.
Paul, very seriously, is Coach Dye crazy?
Coach Dye is probably the most sane man I've ever met.
I had someone ask the other day, honestly, if I thought he was actually crazy. And I said, no, I don't think he is.
It's a cliche. Crazy like a fox. He knows what he's talking about most of the time.
So you don't think he's losing it? You don't think he's out of touch necessarily? You think he's
just because
spot on with what
he's getting older and
well, you know, some people would say
maybe sips a little before the Finebaum show.
I didn't say.
I read your comment in the newspaper in the magazine article a couple weeks ago about Coach Dye. I was offended by that because
so was I.
Coach Dye's been an integral part of our show for a long time.
Speaking of being an integral part of something,
was that a Mike Deverly impression? By
that
the
was
way?
Yeah, Mike do it. I was with Mike a couple weeks ago on live set, and he did it, and it was tough to do live.
Yeah. He's good at that.
I don't imitate anything other than a talk show host.
There you go.
You're doing a good job at that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Do you think Coach Dye actually has any control over that Auburn program?
It looks
or
like
is he losing it?
It looks like he's in total control right now.
I mean, people say that he's the one behind the wheel.
I think he was behind Chiswick's hire, and I think until recently, he was Chiswick's biggest supporter. I've been told, not to get serious here on a comedy show, but that he was arguing with people 2-3 weeks ago, and suddenly you heard today he's bailing on Chiswick. I mean, he's waving the white flag, blaming everyone he can until Chiswick next week. He'll be blaming Chiswick.
Do you think this is maybe kind of like a behind the woodshed type of moment for him? Do you think he's sort of laying this out on the table to challenge the Auburn team to maybe try to win a game?
No, I don't think this team can be challenged. I think that ship's
it
passed.
shouldn't be challenged,
no.
That's for sure.
Paul, your Twitter account's very popular.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually seen your Twitter account? It's Twitter. Twitter.com.
Is that that thing that people are always doing at the mall?
Yeah, everybody's doing it.
The kids like to tweet.
Yeah, we have a great Twitter account here. I think it's at the Finebaum Network or something.
Yeah, right. Maybe. You said we, so you're covered now. Yeah. You're covered at this point.
I don't do Twitter.
No, that's
I don't do Facebook. But I do have a fax machine at my house.
Also, speaking of old people who have a history in college football, the passing of Bino Cook makes me think about how has college football changed? And of course, you've been involved professionally, for some time now. How have you seen college football?
This is my 78th year covering college football.
That seems about right. Yeah. How has it changed in the past 20, 30 years?
Well, the game is different for all the, but they're still the same stadiums. They're bigger, and I think it's the media attention. I mean, it used to, back in the day, 25, 30 years ago, you went to a game, you listened to it on the radio, and you woke up the next day and read about it in the paper.
It's you though, right? I mean, and I mean that seriously. Like, it's you and kind of what you do. And now there's War Blog, or there's these.
Everything. It used to be, not to go old school here, but public opinion was dictated by a letter to the editor. Then it became the radio call-in shows, the crazies, and now it's instantaneous, and it's dangerous if you're in the arena, because public opinion changes on a dime, turns on a dime, because everyone has an opinion. I mean, if I want to blog or tweet that Tommy Tuberville is a great coach and Gene Chizik is a loser, I can do so, and someone's going to buy into it. Not to go John and Chizik on, but we need a movement like the Occupy or whatever happened in Egypt, but it's a pretty dangerous, because a lot of people that don't know anything about the game or the sport or anything else are out there being heard and listened to.
Speaking of
John, and one of those people happens to be me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Speaking of John at Chizik, did you not learn your lesson a while back? Haven't you already been around this block?
Yeah, John at Chizik and Christy Malzahn, who another television star in her own right, put a pretty serious beat down on me a couple of years ago at the Iron Bowl, and so I wasn't surprised by what she said.
And those are not the first wives.
No, I've done it started. Coach Dye's wife used to call me late at night. Coach Stallings' wife, and I had a run-in or two with Mrs. Tuberville. Probably the most epic and famous was Mark Gottfried's wife.
Right.
I mean, not because it was any worse, but it just so happened to have occurred at halftime of the Alabama-Auburn basketball game in front of 15,000 people.
You talk to these coaches. You actually have interactions with them, and say maybe you guys are actually kind of friendly with each other. Does that end when the wives get involved?
Yeah, I mean, these wives are crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you mind?
No, absolutely.
Go ahead. Hey, Paul, thanks, Paul. We're actually going to head
Oh, you guys have to leave?
Wickles, Pickles, Pics
I'm
of the week are coming up for us.
Please, come back some other time.
Absolutely. And I got some Wickles for you in the car.
Okay, thanks, guys. I mean,
Thanks, Paul.
Shake a leg or break a leg or
listen, it's
whatever.
a pleasure. Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks. Reed, it's time for the Wickles Pickles Picks of the Week. Of course, when the Lockman Brothers pick pickles, we pick Wickles.
Because a Wickle will tickle your... What are you wearing, Will? What is this costume here?
What costume?
Oh, okay, that's fine. All right, Will, so this is the part of the show where we pick the football games that are coming up this weekend, and of course, two big ones here. Alabama will be playing an undefeated Mississippi State, and Auburn will be losing to Texas A&M. Let's pick the Alabama game first, Will. How do you see that one panning out?
Reed, Alabama's going to have a big win, probably by 28 points.
Okay, I agree. Alabama will have a big win. I'm going to say only by 17, though. This Mississippi State team might be all right. So 17 points. All right, Auburn game. How do you see that one, Will?
Reed, Auburn is going down by 21 points.
Okay, I think Auburn definitely will go down. I'm going to say only by 14. I'm going to say they'll play their best game of the year and lose by 14. So we'll see how it turns out. Will, don't forget, whoever loses this points race at the end of the season has to eat a plate of super hot wings. So,
I think I can handle it.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
All right, you weakling trick-or-treaters at home, be sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's at the Iron Bowl Hour. And, of course, you can listen to our radio show, Oh Brother Radio, every Thursday at BehamMountainRadio.com.
All right, Will, it's time for us to get out of here, or else I'm going to be late to Fight Club. And you know what the #1 rule of Fight Club is, Will? Don't be late to Fight Club. #1 rule.
Sounds like a club I should join.
It's also rule number 3.
So all the time we have tonight for the Iron Bowl Hour. I'm Will Lockamy.
And I'm Reed Lockamy.
Roll Eagle, Reed.
And War Tide, Will.
The Iron Bowl Hour is brought to you by Wickles Pickles. Add an exciting new taste to everything from Thanksgiving dinner to Saturday sandwiches. A Wickles pickle will tickle your taste buds just right. Billy's Sports Grill in Birmingham, located in English Village, Overton Road, and coming soon to Northport. Billy's, come on in and feed your goat. And Vulcan Park and Museum, home to the world's largest cast iron statue. For more information, log on to www.visitvulcan.com.
Sit Indian style.
Now, is everybody going to hold hands? That'd be good.
New crisscross applesauce. Here we go. Here's Reed about to be old and lame and stupid.
And really, really smart. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'll agree with that, but
Listen.
still, apart from that.
Listen.
And I'm right about it, and we need to wrap this up because I've had an accident in my pants. $17 though, this Mississippi State team might be all right. So 17 points. All right, Auburn game, how do you see that one, Will?
Reed, Auburn's gonna, gosh, you gotta be kidding.
If you guys want to come over here and be stung by bees, be our guests.